We're at TLC Nursery and Greenhouses outside of Oklahoma City, where we're going to look at some new and exciting plant introductions for 2008. April Enos joins us today. Thank you for joining me.
Glad to have you all here.
Can you tell me about some of these new and exciting annuals that we have this season?
We do have a lot of things that are ready to go right now. New, exciting, wonderful. This is Seneca Confucius. It's called the Mexican flame vine. Loves heat, likes the sun, has these wonderful bright red, almost daisy-like flowers. It'll bloom all summer long. Wonderful, wonderful plant. Down here, this guy, a lot of people have seen the Madrid Lavender plectranthus. This is its first cousin. This one's called Blue Yonder. And while it makes a very nice standalone plant, put in a mixture with this wonderful variegated foliage and these blue spikes, it's an excellent, combo plant.
It has a nice delicate color too.
And it's wonderful. I love it. And in the same type of growth habit, we've got a new Angelonia. This is Angelonia Carita. This is dark purple. And it has a little bit more sprawly growth pattern than the standard upright Angelonia, which makes it really nice because it will peek through other plants in a combination or in the garden as a background plant. It will come peeking up through it. And it blooms all summer. I mean, the hotter it gets, the happier it is, because it's called summer snapdragon as a common name. Another vine that we have, I spent a long time trying to get this. This is a Thunbergia. This is called African Sunset, and this wonderful red coloring. People are used to having, the black-eyed Susan vine, the orange and black, the yellow and black, the white and black. I saw this in a garden center out in California, growing on one of their trellises just to show off, and have spent 5 years trying to find seed or cuttings so that we can have it.
It has a
because
beautiful
it's
color.
wonderful.
Let's look at this one here.
It's a petunia.
It's a beautiful
petunia. This one is called a blanket petunia. This is the double white. This is the only double they have so far, but there are other colors. We do carry them, and it looks just like a carnation. And if you'll notice, it's tight, compact growth. While it is a spreading petunia, it's not going to get the spider spread like a lot of them do. This is a very good, hardy, long blooming plant that would really stand up to what people need it to do.
Okay, what do we have here?
This is Rosselli. This is the Nightlight's ruby that you have in your hand, and I have the Nightlight's yellow. The yellow is a little bit more compact. The ruby goes a bit wild. This is in its awkward teenage stage. As soon as it starts getting a little bit warmer, it's going to put falls of flowers on each of these nice little branches. It's a wonderful texture plant. Adds, a lot of texture and movement to the garden.
Yeah, it has a nice fine texture to it.
It does. It's very, very interesting. But, as I was saying, the yellow is more compact than the red, and there's also an orange that's as large as the red. So if you have only a smaller space, the yellow would be the best. The yellow's
a little better.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that has a nice foliage, nice color.
Doesn't it? And right now it's a baby. This is going to get bigger. This is Essentia. This is called Tahitian Breeze. And it's for morning sun, afternoon shade to light tree shade. And albeit there are more yellows being developed for in shade, it's still hard to get a bright yellow or a white to give color, and draw the vision in. And this is definitely the plant that's going to do it. And it's got wonderful markings with the yellow and the green. I like it. And then all the new growth ends up with the bright pink in it also.
Midrib.
Yep.
And it's nice to have a foliage plant for the shade with this color, so we're not relying on just flowers all the time.
I love having foliage plants for anything, so I don't have to rely on the flowers all the time. Now I have this little tiny plant here.
Oh, just a little one.
Yeah, he's just
a lot of fun.
The variety of this is called giant spinnery. What he actually is a Gabbera daisy. We tried growing them in 6-inch, and they just get too big. So we had to put them up in patio pots. I mean, it's a wonderful plant. It has the wonderful spidery type petals, and it just, it looks like a party in a plant.
It's a good way to describe it. So I see you brought some herbs for us as well.
Yeah, I did. I know that a lot of herbs aren't annuals, A lot of them are perennials, but we do a lot of herbs, and they're necessary in your garden. This is Madrid Lavender. This one is color is called Midnight. It is the blue. I mean, and look at the flower. It's so happy. It looks like a little purple pineapple.
It does.
And this variety blooms all summer long. It has, you know, it'll rest for a little bit, but it'll keep continuous bloom all summer long.
And it's very fragrant. Yeah.
And planting herbs next to your front door or near your patio, when people are coming up to your door, you can have this in a pot with a whole bunch of other flowers.
It's very welcoming.
But it's the fragrance is welcoming. Now, to go from how wonderfully nice this scent is, I have another one. Now,
thank you.
this looks like a very chlorotic pineapple sage, but it's not. It's supposed to be this yellow. There's pineapple sage smells like pineapple. You know, the honeydew melon sage, like honeydew. Within the last few years, they've had the tangerine. This is golden delicious.
And it smells like apples. Yeah,
golden
that's wonderful.
And has the golden delicious skin color.
It sure does. And then the flowers just...
And they get almost 3 foot tall in the garden. I mean, this is a wonderful plant, just to plant for the flowers and the scent alone. But then you can cook with it.
It's perfect.
I mean, you can't. It's a workhorse of a plant. The last two I have are 2 new herbs.
Oh, yes.
I have the hi-ho silver with the wonderfully soft variegated foliage. And then this is Elizabeth thyme. They're both thymes. This is Elizabeth thyme, and just with very, very dark foliage. And again, I mean, this is something you can use for a ground cover. You don't have to just look at it as something to plant, to grow and feed yourself with.
We have some Coleus down here.
This is one of my addictions in the plant world. Not that anybody has addictions when you work in this business. It's sun Coleus, because it's one of the best plants that you can grow. It will grow in full shade to full sun. It has color continuously, you know, even when the flowers aren't blooming because it gets too hot and a lot of flowers shut down, you're going to have color. And it's one way that you can give continuity to your garden beds, because if you have the same sun Coleus here and there throughout, it just draws the eye through the line of the gardens.
Yes.
I try to find some really cool names though, because you can get the same variety of Coleus from multiple different suppliers, but I look for the coolest names they're sold under so people will remember, because this soft, pretty, beautiful little plant is named Anna, and you're going to remember that. But this bold, you know, with the dark and the light yellow, that's Texas two-step. And the one that you have in that hand, that's Carnival.
Oh, that's
and it does. It looks like a carnival going on.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Now, there's some new verbenas out. A lot of verbenas get that sprawly spider looking in the annual spider looking foliage. The lanais, we did worked with them last year, a few of the varieties, and they didn't do that. I mean, they were even blooming in August. They're just a really wonderful plant. And this is the lanai mosaic purple, wonderful colors. You know, while they're still going to trail, it has
a
tight,
nice dense compact form,
and it's a wonderful, wonderful plant to add to the garden. Now, I know that Bellis is not technically an annual, but people are always skeptical about it. The English daisy, it is tender as a perennial, but in general, they're supposed to have problems. They can get aphids, they can get powdery mildew. And I got this because everybody was saying it's aphid resistant, it doesn't get powdery mildew, and it's supposed to be more heat tolerant, which is the problem with it here.
Good for Oklahoma, sure.
Well, so far, even with the cloudy weather, just like today we've been having, I haven't had powdery mildew. It's been aphid resistant because this is the year for aphids.
Yeah.
And so I'm just waiting to see how heat tolerant it is, because it's made up for everything it said it was.
That's perfect. I'm going to grab this one.
Yeah.
Whoa.
This is Anaxanthus. This is Kangaroo Paw. We have had some of these in the past, but this color is the red green,
beautiful.
and it's wonderful. Now, you know, you look at this and you're like, how am I going to work this in to have a bunch of those in my bed? You don't want them. This is a structure plant. This is something that you want to stand alone and say, look at me. I'm the center of attention. Because, I mean, it's just a wonderful, wonderful plant to have.
Absolutely.
Now, these big fat leaves up here. I know this is a tropical. I know that. This is this is pink princess philodendron. Anybody can grow a philodendron. Philodendrons are a wonderful, wonderful plant. But philodendrons also work excellent outside in the summer in the shade. They give you some really good color and a whole lot of structure in
And
your
this is a
garden.
really unusual color too.
Yes,
It's
it is.
beautiful.
It's new, put out by Terra Nova. Cindy found it and was like, you got to come look at this. And it's like, that's a philodendron. They're not supposed to, they do perennials. They're not supposed to do philodendron. We got some, I grew them. They did really, really well. Now, sweet potato vine. You know, everybody loves sweet potato vine. This one happened, you know, there's multiple names. You've got Marguerite for the chartreuse. You got the tricolor. You have Ace of Spades. This one's just called red, and it is. And it's just, it's another color palette to add to the wonderful plant that will grow and grow and grow for you.
Yeah. Now, what do we have down here? This is
Take
really
a guess.
unusual. You know, I've been looking at it and I really didn't know.
This is an achillea.
It's an achillea.
It is an annual achillea. It's called gypsy. It's new this year. I mean, and it's just a wonderful little plant to add in. You know, you have plants that you might not necessarily want to have. It would make a really good bed alone, you know, for a cover. But it's also a great plant to add as a filler into your pots, because a lot of people don't realize that when you're doing your pots, do them like you're doing a flower arrangement. Have some filler, have some trailing, have structure. It's really, really fun. Now this is my last guy. Poor little, we left him till last, and he's one of the prettiest plants that we have. This is a trailing New Guinea impatient. This one's the orchid color. I have multiple different colors of this, and you know, it's going to trail over the side as opposed to being so upright. And there's nothing prettier in a shade spot than a New Guinea.
This is absolutely beautiful. Well, thank you for sharing these annuals with me today.
I'm glad you came.